Chapter 11. Razorbacks and Wolverines. Razorbacks are wild pigs that are bulky, strong, fast, and ferocious. They inhabit a very large range, in large numbers, and are omnivorous and highly adaptable. Wolverines are the largest species of weasel, about the size of a small bear. This fast, muscular carnivore has a well-deserved reputation for strength and ferocity. Do these creatures have anything to do with the skyscraper curse? No, they don't, but they did inspire an important article by Greg Kazar. When I give public lectures on the skyscraper curse, I am inevitably asked whether it can be applied on continental, national, and state levels, rather than just a global scale. For example, would a national record-breaking skyscraper result in a national curse? My answer to those questions is yes, but that is only based on anecdotal evidence. Greg Kazar examined the skyscraper index evidence at the state level in the United States. He chose the states of Arkansas and Michigan. Greg is from Michigan and earned his master's degree in international finance from Walsh College in Michigan. He has served as executive director of the Arkansas Policy Foundation since 2001. The team names for the University of Arkansas and the University of Michigan are, respectively, the Razorbacks and Wolverines. He used the National Bureau of Economic Research's (NBER) estimates of economic expansions and contractions in the US economy. He compared that data with data on the tallest buildings in both states. What he found was confirmation of the skyscraper index at the state level. According to Kazar, quote, Michigan's tallest skyscrapers in the early 20th century, Detroit's Dime Building and Penobscot Annex, were completed in 1913, a recession year. Detroit's Guardian and Penobscot buildings were finished in 1928-29, on the Great Depression's eve. Today, Michigan's tallest building is the Detroit Marriott at the Renaissance Center, completed in an expansion, 1977. Its final tower, however, was finished in the July 1981 to November 1982 contraction. End quote. So the experience in Michigan would seem to confirm the skyscraper index. It should also be pointed out that with regard to the Detroit Marriott, the American automobile industry, centered in Detroit, Michigan, was still a vital force relative to the rest of the economy in the 1970s, although that would soon change. The results were similar in the state of Arkansas. The state is largely an agricultural economy, although that has changed some with the rise of Walmart, which has its headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas. According to Kazar, the state followed the familiar pattern. Quote, a similar effect can be observed in Arkansas. Little Rock's Pyramid Life Building, 1907, Union Life Building, 1913, Donahue Building 2, 1926, Tower Building, 1960, Bank of America Building, 1970, and Regions Bank Building, 1975, were all completed around NBER contractions. The lone exception, Metropolitan Tower, formerly the TCBY Building, was completed in 1986, a year of expansion. End quote. The Metropolitan Tower might have been completed during a national expansion of the economy, but such was not the case in Arkansas. As the building was being built, the state of Arkansas was entering a very strong economic contraction. According to Henderson, Gloy, and Bolge, quote, U.S. agriculture could not sustain the 1970s prosperity, and, similar to the 1920s, U.S. export activity collapsed during the 1980s. After peaking at $96 billion in 1980, real U.S. agricultural exports fell sharply. A weak global economy, world debt problems, a strong exchange value of the dollar, and trade barriers, including a Russian grain embargo, cut U.S. agricultural exports. Drabenstadt, 1983. In 1986, agricultural exports bottomed at $47 billion, half the levels posted 5 years earlier. End quote. So the lone failures of the Skyscraper Index in Arkansas and Michigan are really about the difficulties that can arise using national statistics on state-level phenomena. Kazza raises two other important points. The first point is that the tallest buildings in 20 states were completed in years of NBER contractions. It might be interesting to examine the other 30 buildings to see whether their record-breaking dates, in contrast to completion dates, might have occurred during an economic expansion. The second point is that he found, using NBER dating, that the Woolworth building, which opened in April 1913, did so in a 23-month-long contraction in the US economy between January 1913 and December 1914. This was a long and severe contraction. However, it was not long enough or deep enough to gain a moniker achieved by other skyscraper-cursed buildings. While Lucas Engelhardt shows that the skyscraper curse analysis can be integrated into the microeconomic analysis of labour markets and location theory, Kazza has shown that it can also be situated into lower levels of geographic analysis.